Yo, what is good, everyone? It's great to be back on the Mayo Media Network. My name's Griffin Swanson, and I'm here to break down the Saturday, May 29th, NHL DFS slate with you. Now, we only got 2 games on this slate here. You can play them together, or you can play them as showdowns. Take a look here in the top left-hand corner. Got Game 6 between the Maple Leafs and Canadiens, coming in with an implied total of 5.5. And then Game 1 here, round 2, between the Islanders and Bruins, coming in with an implied total of 5 goals. So definitely not projecting to be a shootout there. Take a look down here at the Vegas odds. Both the Maple Leafs and Bruins sitting pretty nice on the money line. Maple Leafs looking to close out their series. Bruins looking to get a good start in round 2 against the Isles. Now, before we dive into my favorite line stacks and individual plays, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Pat and his team at the Mayo Media Network are posting content all week long, multiple different sports. You don't want to miss out on any of that. Hit the notifications below as well. And for you podcast people, just head on over to the Apple Pods. You can find all of the content there. Leave a 5-star review while you're at it. Now, today's video is sponsored by Prize Picks. If you haven't signed up for Prize Picks yet and you want to do so, why don't you head on over to prizepicks.com. Check it out. A number of different sports that we can play. And hey, if you're going to sign up, make sure you use code MMN for up to a $100 match deposit. Folks, it is completely free money. You might as well take advantage of that. As soon as you put your deposit in, Prize Picks is going to match it. You don't have to play a single contest. They're literally going to match your deposit as soon as you put money in your account. So take advantage of that. Again, use code MMN upon sign up. Now, I do like a couple of Prize Picks here myself for this 2-game slate. If you want to see who I got my money on, head on over to the Mayo Media Network Twitter account. We're going to post those there on Saturday morning. Again, if you're going to be signing up, just make sure you use code MMN for up to a $100 match deposit. But all right, folks, let's dive into this spreadsheet here. So kicking it off with my favorite line stacks here. The first line that I got my eye on is that first line out of Boston. We got Patrice Bergeron centering Brad Marchand and David Pastrnak. Now, these guys likely will be popular on a 2-game slate, but I think they're far too cheap, all things considered. Yes, it's the playoffs and they're playing the Islanders in what shouldn't be a shootout. Implied total there of 5 goals. But man, these are 3 really talented players. They're all going to play big minutes. They all play on that number 1 power play, and even Bergeron and Marchand mix in on the penalty kill together too, so there's a little extra upside there. Now, these 3 were great in round 1, racking up 8 goals in 5 games, adding 5 assists there as well. All 3 of these guys have double-digit DraftKings point upside, 15, 20, even 25-plus point upside as well. It should be a low-scoring series in general against the Islanders, but boy, again, these guys are too talented to ignore, especially considering the price that they're at on this 2-game slate. Now, the other line stack that I like here is going to be that second line out of Montreal. I do think one way we can get contrarian with our lineups on a 2-game slate like this is targeting the Montreal Canadiens players. They'll likely carry the least ownership on this 2-game slate. I have a little hesitation in my voice because maybe we can get the Islanders at low ownership, and they are very inexpensive. Beauvillier, Josh Bailey, that whole second line played very well against the Penguins, and they're still far too cheap. Don't want to get off topic here. We are talking about that second line out of Montreal. Kind of hoping they can build off of Game 5 there. We saw Suzuki score the game-winning overtime goal, assisted by Cole Caulfield, went down on a 2-on-0, made a beautiful play and scored. So hopefully they can build off of that. All 3 of these guys are going to play solid minutes, and all 3 are playing on that number 1 power play right now as well. Now, their numbers haven't been great in this series. Like I said, I'm kind of hoping they can build off that game-winning overtime goal that they scored in Game 5, but these are 3 talented players here. Like I said, they're going to play solid minutes, and they do play on that number 1 power play. So as far as line stack goes, it makes sense, it correlates, and they're relatively affordable here, and we could probably get them at low ownership. All right, now hopping on down here to my favorite individual plays. We're going to kick it off with the forwards here, and the first 2 guys that I want to highlight are on the Toronto Maple Leafs. We got Austin Matthews and William Nylander there. Matthews here will likely be the most popular play on this 2-game slate. I'm okay with starting with him in your cash lineup and then just building around that. If you want to fade him on the GPP side of things, I think this might be a slate where that makes sense. Obviously, you can play him in GPPs as well. This guy is very lethal. Now, he only has points in 2 of 5 games so far in this series. However, he has been able to hit double-digit DraftKings points in all 5 games. largely due to him shooting this puck. This kid loves to shoot the puck, plays big minutes on that first line and on that number one power play. Like I said, he'll likely carry the most ownership here tonight, but rightfully so. Then we got William Nylander there. He plays on the second line, but he does play on that first power play as well, and he's arguably been the best Toronto Maple Leaf in this series so far. Had a goal in each of the first 4 games of the series, added 2 more assists last game, so he's got 4 goals, 2 assists, 6 points in the first 5 games in this series. Just like Matthews has been able to hit double-digit DraftKings points in all 5 games, but he's much cheaper. Now, Matthews is the better of the 2 players, but again, William Nylander has played very well in this series. He's going to play big minutes and plays on that number one power play with Matthews, with Marner, with Riley. A lot of talent there as well. Now, it's a 2-game slate, right? We need to find ways to get contrarian. One of the ways that you could do that, pair Matthews and Nylander together. No, they don't play all that much 5-on-5 together, but you're kind of hoping for them to get on the power play 3-4 plus times, and they bank on it there. Again, 2-game slate, find ways to get unique with your lineups. That's one way that you can do that. But again, like both these players here, for the Toronto Maple Leafs. The next 2 guys that I got here, Anthony Beauvillier and Josh Bailey of the New York Islanders. Both these guys do play together on the second line. You could stack them together if you wanted to. Even add Brock Nelson there in the center position for a line stack. All 3 are very affordable with upside. They all played very well in round 1 against the Pittsburgh Penguins. Beauvillier and Bailey's numbers here are relatively the same coming out of that first round. We had Beauvillier there score 3 goals, 4 assists, 7 points in 6 games against the Penguins. Bailey had 3 goals, 3 assists, so 1 less assist compared to Beauvillier. Now, I do prefer Beauvillier here, even though he is more expensive, naturally more of a shooter, but again, both these guys are going to play solid minutes, play on that second line. Really, the only difference here is Beauvillier is, well, more expensive, and he plays on the number 1 power play, whereas Bailey plays on the number 2 power play. But again, you can play them together. Both these guys did play very well in the first round against Pittsburgh. Both these guys were able to rack up double-digit DraftKings points in 5 of 6 games. Moving over to the defensemen here. Look, I'll be honest, don't really love a whole lot of the defenseman options on this 2-game slate. However, Charlie McAvoy I would be okay with paying up for, and honestly, he's not even that expensive, but he did play very well in that first round against the Washington Capitals. Had double-digit DraftKings points in 4 of 5 games. The one game where he didn't get there, he had 9.5 DraftKings points, so if we round up, he damn near hit double-digit DraftKings points in each of those 5 games. Now, this is a guy who's going to play big minutes, played on that number 1 power play in the first round, and plays on the penalty kill too. He had 5 assists in 5 games in the first round, is not afraid to shoot the puck, and is not afraid to block shots either. Again, really not that expensive, but on a 2-game slate, he is one of the higher priced defensemen here, and I'm definitely not afraid to pay up for McAvoy. Now, if you do want to save a little bit of money here at the defenseman position, Justin Hall and Brandon Carlo caught my eye. Like I said, not in love with the options here for defensemen on this slate, but these are 2 guys here who are going to play solid minutes for their team. So Justin Hall here for the Toronto Maple Leafs, Carlo for the Boston Bruins. Both should top 20 plus minutes in regulation. Neither play on the power play, but both do play big minutes on the penalty kill, and that's really what I'm banking on here, is one or both these guys hit 3+ block shots, get you that 3-point DraftKings bonus. Both can get you double-digit DraftKings point. It's not going to be all that often, but we've seen it out of Hall here in 3 of his past 10 games. Carlo, only 1 of his past 10. He's more of an 8 to 9 point player, which is still 2-3x value, but not really banking on him getting double-digit DraftKings points. So again, below 4K, when it comes to these type of players, especially on a 2-game slate like this, I'm targeting guys who are going to play big minutes and play on the special teams, whether that's the power play or penalty kill. Both Justin Hall and Brandon Carlo fit that mold. Now, I hate to keep bringing up how small of a slate this is, but what I want to mention here for the goaltenders, when it is a 2-game slate like this, really all of the goaltenders come into play, right? Especially on the GPP side of things, I really do think all 4 goaltenders we could put in our lineup. However, from a cash game side of things and even GPP, I like Tuukka Rask here. You can see there the implied total between the Isles and Bruins coming in at 5.0, so definitely not projecting to be a shootout. Bruins are heavy home favorites there at at minus 177. And look, Tuukka Rask was awesome in that first round against the Washington Capitals. You can see he posted a .936 save percentage throughout that series against the Capitals and legit got better with every single game. And he was playing really well prior to that series too. You can see in his past 10 starts there, he's 8-1-1, averaging about 18.5 DraftKings points per game. So again, 2-game slate. I really do believe all of these goalies come into play, but Boston home favorites here at minus 177, a small implied total. Tuukka's relatively affordable here at $8,000 and played really well in round one. That's going to be the guy that I lock in my cash lineup. But again, all these goalies do come into play on the GPP side of things. And as always, wrapping up the video here with my low-priced option or sub 4K foreplay. We're going to roll with Alexander Kerfoot there, the Toronto Maple Leafs, playing on that second line and second power play. Do keep an eye on Nick Foligno's status. If he ends up playing, he'll likely center that second line, bumping Kerfoot down to the third line. So keep an eye on that. It would be a slight decrease to Kerfoot if that happens, but he's played well in this series. 1 goal, 4 assists, 5 points in 5 games, hitting 15.6 and 18.0 DraftKings points in 2 of those games. So if he can get you those numbers, he's going to smash value. Hell, if he gets you 9-10 DraftKings points, that's 3x, and he can definitely do that, especially if he ends up playing on that second line. So just keep an eye on Foligno's status. But again, like the way that Kerfoot's played in this series so far, and really affordable here at $3,500. All right, everyone, that's going to wrap up the video here for today. As always, thank you all for taking the time out of your day to watch these videos. If you could hit that like and subscribe button, I would greatly appreciate that. Again, Pat and his team at the Mayo Media Network are posting content all week long, multiple different sports. You don't want to miss out on any of that. And again, for those of you who want to check out Prize Picks or plan on signing up, make sure you use code MMN for up to a $100 match deposit. Folks, it is completely free money. Take advantage of that. But let's enjoy the weekend. Let's enjoy this 2-game slate. Let's win some money here as well. I'm out of here.